Now, in my tiny titch days, I loved my platformers, loved my adventure games and my licensed games. I was a baby, alright. Those were always my go-to. Everything else my brother had covered. FPSs, TPSs and racers mainly. Hitman, GTA, The Getaway, he played the good stuff. It was only in my teens when I started appreciating FPSs. Heck, I couldn't get enough of them. I mean, I went to my local Sainsbury's for the midnight release of Call of Duty Black Ops. Those were good days. A couple of those games my brother played were Medal of Honor Frontline and Rising Sun, and I had fond memories playing those too, so I decided to go back to where it all started for the franchise. The original Medal of Honor for PS1. I've never played this one before, but from what I've heard, it's a must play, so I was super excited to play this one. But after playing it, does it live up to the acclaim? Let's talk about it. Move out, soldier. It's game time. Medal of Honor is a first-person shooter set during the turning point of the Second World War. You take control of Lieutenant James Patterson, a pilot that has shown that he has exceptional skills in everything from combat to leadership. Everything except speaking. Someone that the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, is looking for. You'll be sent deep behind enemy lines to gather intel and sabotage the German war machine. From taking out Gestapo officers to sabotaging a German U-boat and destroying their missile launching capabilities. First off, I think it's worth mentioning that Steven Spielberg worked on this game personally and wanted the same level of authenticity as there was in Saving Private Ryan. So one of the things he did was bring on Dale Dye, an army veteran who worked with him on Saving Private Ryan and other projects. At first, Dye criticised the developers for being too exploitative with the subject matter, but stuck it out because he saw potential in the project and believed the team had the best intentions, and as far as I know, he was pleased with the final product. With that being said, let's start with the gameplay. Now, before you start playing, you might want to sort out your control layout, because the default layout may not be to the liking of those used to more modern style of gaming. For me, I selected layout number 4, L2 and R2 for aiming and shooting, and the right analog stick for rotation. I find this to be the most comfortable, as I use my Wingman adapter so I can use my PS5 controller for the extra trigger feel. But it's entirely up to you. Anywho, if you've played any of the 007 games around that time, or Time Splitters, the game pretty much plays like that. Instead of aiming down your sight, a cursor pops up for more precise aiming, and you can lean left and right, which means you can pop your head out from behind cover. Instead of crouching, you crawl. But in a war zone like this, it kinda makes sense. And it's a good idea to keep low to the ground for some situations. Now, I'm more accustomed to the modern day style of FPSs, so I thought this might be a bit intimidating. But actually, I got used to it almost instantly.
Oh, good for you!
I actually had a lot of fun with this. The aiming is not too loose or shaky. If you aim at it, you hit it, even from a distance, and through gaps in their cover. Oh, I think I'm well hid on here. Ah, Scheiße! The firing feels very impactful and satisfying, and the enemies react accordingly when being hit in certain places. Headshots are definite fatalities, although they could survive it and end up shooting their helmets off.
Lucky bastard.
They can forcibly be knocked back and shoot them in the leg and they start limping. Speaking of the enemy, these guys are not dumb, and that will become more prevalent as you proceed through the game. You try to throw a grenade at them, they will throw it back if given time. They'll send dogs after you, which does get me down a bit, because even though they are a bunch of pixels, I don't want to hurt dogs, even video game ones. I love dogs, and I always will, no matter what the BBC says. Some enemies could fake you out and start firing at you again. They'll react to you a lot quicker and aim better too. I mean, a single enemy could take a big chunk out of you, or kill you outright with a bazooka before you even know he was there. So you better get good and good quickly, and there are no checkpoints either. You die, you start over. But that was all part of the fun for me. I thought the difficulty escalated fairly, and I never got bored of the gunplay. It always felt fast-paced and makes you feel like a one-man army taking it to the Jerry's and saving the day. And what helps is the game's excellent arsenal of World War II era weapons, like the Colt M19 11A1, the Walter P38 pistol, the M1 Garand, the Springfield 03 sniper rifle, the Thompson and MP40 SMGs, shotgun and bazooka, and all of them feel great to use. There's not a bad gun in the bunch. My personal favourites are the M1, Yeah, it's your standard rifle, but it feels so good to pick off the Jerrys with a headshot, and from a great distance too. The Browning automatic rifle, as I found it to be the most reliable to use out of the SMGs in my opinion. It's just so fun to let loose a flurry of lead into your enemies. And the bazooka. What's funny is that there's no ammo cap, so you can just keep picking up ammunition, and soon I realised I had about 20 bazooka rounds on me, so I just fired away, and it's brilliant.
War. It's fantastic.
And the shotgun has a good range for a close range weapon, but I'm not complaining. This is a good shotgun, but these are my preferences. When it comes to weapons in Medal of Honor, you can't go wrong with any of them. At some points, you'll be going undercover as a German officer, and make sure you have the right paperwork on you to get past the guards, which means you have to take out the higher ranking officers with a silenced pistol to gain his ranks. And when someone asks you for your papers, you have to show them, otherwise your cover is blown.
Your papers are in order.
It's nice to say thank you, you rude Broadhurst. I found it a bit odd when you go undercover on the warship, you'd be walking past guards in the hallway, everything cool, no suspicions, but then you get to the bridge, your cover is blown, the alarm sounds off, and the bullets start flying. You take out the enemies, you turn off the alarm, and when you walk back down the same hallway, and the same guards standing there like nothing's happened. Excuse me mate, did you not hear what happened upstairs? Oh no, not really, we're German. Great. But all in all, gameplay gets 2 thumbs up from me, with great action and sneaky espionage. Let's move on to how the game looks. Medal of Honor was released in 1999, and I'm not gonna lie, I think this game has stood the test of time. Yeah, I know we've come a long way in terms of graphics, but I bet games like this set a new standard back then. But this is still a very good looking game. It gets the look and feel of war-torn Europe and German infrastructure to a T. Buildings have been destroyed in bombing raids, dark forests and countrysides with hedge grove pathways, munition crate-filled dockyards with submarines in mid-construction, and weapons labs with half-built missiles. Like Metal Gear Solid, I think the developers pushed the PlayStation's capabilities to its absolute limits, not just in quantity, but quality too, with plenty of detail and texture that brings the world to life. This game is 27 years old, and I'm still blown away by this. And it all adds to the atmosphere of being one man fighting against the odds to complete his mission. The natural and urban environment can work against you. In open areas like fields and factory floors, you feel openly exposed to the enemies coming at you from all sides. And there's no better example of this than the forest outside Fort Schmerzen, where I think I died the most in the game. I really had to take my time here, because one misstep could have me being pelted at from all sides, or a chunk taken out of me by a gunner in a pillbox. In sewer tunnels and tight corridors, you can't see what's around the next corner, with possible Germans ready to pounce at you. And in the village of Durbusson, the enemies will fire from the balconies, and you might not know he was there till he shot you from behind. Ooh, you cheeky German sausage. And in one level in the dockyard, you'll literally have to jump across buildings and walking along pipes to complete objectives, making the level more maze-like. Proper spy right here, man. The level design is phenomenal, even for today's standards. The enemy uniforms looked very accurate to what the German soldiers wore, and there are different units you'll be taking on too, whether it be soldier, officer, Gestapo, or special units like the 7th SS Panzer Corps, all greatly recaptured here, even if the faces look a bit squished, making it look like they've pissed themselves. The weapon designs and reload animations look great too, making you feel even more immersed. All in all, I think Medal of Honor is one of the best looking PS1 games I've played. Absolutely banging. Now time for the story, or what there is of one. Medal of Honor doesn't really follow any sort of storyline. As I mentioned earlier, you'll take control of Lieutenant Patterson, who is a silent protagonist, as you go on 7 missions with 3 or 4 levels in each one. What it does show is footage from World War II, with narration, explaining what went down when the war started turning in the Allies' favour, and when Germany started getting desperate. And there's a briefing before each mission, done by Colonel Stanley Hardgrove, voiced by William Morgan Shepherd, who is perfect perfect for the role. Hargrove has a friendly demeanour, but understands the seriousness of the situation and what's at stake when it comes to the mission. And he doesn't hold back feelings. The mission in the salt mine in Austria is quite personal to him towards the loss of artwork during the war.
The Nazis have had over 6 years to plunder the riches of Europe. They've looted art from personal collections and museums, stealing almost the entire cultural heritage of Western civilization. Now, I know I might not look it, but my college minor was art history, and it gives me grief to no end when I think about everything that's been lost in this war. All the art that's been destroyed in the never-ending artillery barrages and bombing raids.
5 minutes later.
Ooh. I think I fucked up here. You also get letters before each level from Manon Baptiste, a French resistance commander now working for the OSS. They go more into detail on your objectives in each level. I like the way they are written here. It makes it feel like there's a bit of character behind this and written by an actual human being, rather than just reading an instruction manual. You know what I mean? We're at war, not building a coffee table from IKEA. Thinking about it, that must have been the reason why Sweden stayed out of it. The mission structure is not just getting from A to B. There are certain objectives you need to complete before making your way to the exit, which can range from collecting intel and blueprints on weapons, killing a certain amount of specific troops, sabotage, blowing up vehicles and disarming bombs. All this adds another layer to gameplay and adds to the feel of being an OSS agent, rather than just another guy with a gun. Even though these missions were fictional for the most part, the subject matter behind these missions is very much real. Like in Mission 2, where you have to destroy a railgun known as Greta, which is a huge artillery cannon so powerful they can launch a shell over the English Channel and hit Dover. The only drawback was mobility, as it could only travel by railway track. Also a mission in Norway where you have to destroy the Germans' capability of creating an atomic bomb.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Which the Germans were working on even before the war started, but due to lack of uranium and political issues, the program was scrapped mid-1942. Politics stopping the creation of atomic weapons? Well, that's a first. And it probably was. Actually, there's one bit in that level that made me laugh. If you take one of the side paths, you can see German soldiers gathered around a snowman, which did put a smile on my face. Ooh, American Yankman, do you want to build a snowman? Oh, you dirty ass wipe. And the final mission, you have to sabotage the production of V2 rockets, which you could call the original ballistic missile. They were used on Allied cities like Paris and London. The last level was a tough one because you had to survive multiple waves of enemies before you could destroy the launch site. Here's a tip: don't use the mounted machine gun, it will leave you too exposed. But when you do beat them all and destroy the launch site, it's quite satisfying to see the scientists lose their shit over it.
This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
So yeah, even though you feel like an action hero at some points, I never felt that Medal of Honor over-exaggerates or took liberties when it comes to historical accuracy. It still felt grounded, but still knew how to keep the fun factor. The game's score was composed by Michael Giacchino, who I mentioned recently as he did the score for the Incredibles film and video game. And like the Incredibles score, it's an absolute triumph. This is war movie level greatness here, with all the victorious brass and sharp intense strings you could want from a World War II game. Nice. There are unlockable artworks to view, get a good score on each level, you get a secret code to change up gameplay, and a multiplayer mode where you can have a shootout with your mates, and you get to play as Winston Churchill. Oh, bloody good I say. I'll fuck you up real good. In conclusion, in my opinion, I think Medal of Honor is one of the best first-person shooters I've ever played.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, it's not got all the fancy stuff you got today, but there's nothing wrong with going back to basics. But when it's this fun, it doesn't feel basic at all. The gunplay is tight, the arsenal is great, the enemies are smart but fair, and the game still looks amazing for its time, and have you fully immersed in being a part of World War II history, without being overindulgent. I can see why this game was critically acclaimed back then, and it still deserves all the acclaim now. So, if you haven't played Medal of Honor yet, I strongly suggest you do so, and even more so if you love first-person shooters. It's going for around 15 to 20 quid on eBay. Personally, I think it's worth the price, because Medal of Honor deserves all the medals and the honours that come with it. And that was my review of Medal of Honor. But what do you guys think? Have you played this game? What's your favourite Medal of Honor game? I think I'm going to have to go back and play all the other ones. And Underground too, because I haven't played that one yet. But when I do, I'll let you guys know. But anyway, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Comment down below and let me know, because I would really love to know. And that's about everything for today, my friends, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, make sure you like, share and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, hit that hype button, and follow me on Facebook, X and Instagram. I've been Titch, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.